farms, elevators, and trains. Scenes like these are typical throughout the Midwest, and they have been for many years. Settlers brought west by the railroad would grow crops in these new lands and sell them to the elevators, where they would be lifted up into bins and loaded onto trains, which would take them to the mills and markets in the east. Since railroads had a virtual monopoly on transportation in those days, the federal government established the Interstate Commerce Commission in order to combat the all-too-common practice of price gouging. This arrangement worked fine in those days, but after World War II, the rise in improved highway and barge systems placed a severe handicap on the railroads. To cut costs, the Southern Railway bought their famous Big John covered hoppers, replacing the antiquated 40-foot boxcars in grain service elsewhere. However, the ICC, pressured by the railroad's new rivals, denied an ironic request for the Southern to decrease rates for shippers using these new cars. The Southern filed suit, and on May 11, 1963, the Supreme Court ruled in favor of the Southern, and the rates were lowered. In the following years, many railroads granted lower rates to elevators who would ship similar new cars in large blocks, which greatly reduced the need for mid-trip sorting at classification yards. To accommodate this new practice, elevators needed to change as well, which brings us to the Princeburg Farmers Co-op elevator in Clara City, Minnesota.
The first elevator was tore down and a new elevator was built behind me here in 1976. It was a wooden structure. In 1984, the main elevator was built to load 54-car trains. That main elevator was concrete. We use it today. Actually quite amazing that something that was built back in 1984 to load approximately 12 54-car shuttle trains is actually pertinent in today's market.
Although the 54-car shuttle trains worked well in their day, they became more inefficient as grain exports remained high, so another innovation was needed. Instead of loading half a train at each elevator, why not load a whole train at once, eliminating the need for mid-trip classification altogether?
Shuttle trains started running in the mid-90s. 2000 is when we loaded our first one. And in order to accommodate that, we had to add a mile of trackage, and we also had to increase our loading speed through bigger capacity legs, and we also had to add bins to have the capacity, physical storage capacity with it. When this train came in, we were able to load it within the 10-hour window.
In addition to adding rail capacity, co-ops like this one also began shipping grain from their surrounding elevators to shuttle loaders by truck, which allowed them to consolidate rail shipping at a single facility in order to get an even bigger return on investment. While we see that both railroads and elevators have found better solutions for moving crops to market, what can farmers do to grow these crops more efficiently?
The number one thing is reduced tillage, doing less aggressive tillage. We don't see much full plowing of soil and fully turning over soil anymore, which is a good thing. If you can get something like alfalfa that's in the field for 2-3 years that without disturbing the soil, that's great too. All those things help interrupt pest cycles as well when you have more crops in your rotation. But really, I think the key point is reducing the amount you're disturbing that soil.
We have seen that all three sides have changed greatly in order to become more efficient. Nonetheless, the lowly grain elevator, the middleman, will always be a symbol of the connection between farmers and the railroad.